Hey everyone, and welcome. So today, we're going to dive into how AI is tackling a problem that, let's be honest, keeps countless small business owners up at night. We're going to focus specifically on small law firms to see how this new tech is finally putting an end to that dreaded 5 o'clock scramble.
But first, just think about this for a second. For any small business, and especially a law firm, a call that goes to voicemail after hours, well, it isn't just a missed call, is it? Nope, it's a potential client, a potential case, and all that potential revenue that probably just went straight to a competitor who was available. I mean, the stakes here are just incredibly high.
All right, so this brings us right to what we are calling the 5 p.m. problem. You know the feeling. It's that moment when the office lights go off, but for solo and small firm lawyers, the anxiety is just getting started.
See, unlike the big firms that have round-the-clock staff, these attorneys are constantly stretched thin. They know that the second they lock up for the night, potential clients are still hitting their website, they're filling out contact forms, and they're calling, and every single one of those could be a game-changing case.
And let's talk about the money, because the financial stakes are just staggering. We're not talking about a few more dollars here. As some industry folks put it, this little gap in coverage can cost a firm hundreds of thousands in lost business. It's a massive, massive financial leak.
And you know, the problem goes way beyond just missed calls. The day-to-day is packed with these recurring frustrations. Client intake? It's described as a huge time sink. Lawyers have told stories about spending weeks, literally weeks, just chasing down basic paperwork. All these repetitive tasks are pulling them away from the actual, billable legal work they're supposed to be doing. And that, of course, leads to high stress and that constant fear of dropping the ball.
So what's the solution to all this after-hours anxiety and administrative headache? Well, it turns out to be an always-on assistant, one that's ready to work even when you're not.
Okay, so what is this thing really? Well, essentially, it's a specialized AI, usually a chatbot, that basically acts as the firm's digital front desk. It's designed to do two things and do them exceptionally well: handle that initial client intake and automate the super tedious process of collecting documents. The key, of course, is that it works 24/7, so no lead ever falls through the cracks again.
So how does it actually work in practice? Okay, imagine this. A potential client lands on the firm's website at 10 p.m. Boom. The AI greets them instantly. It follows a script to ask all the key qualifying questions. And then, based on those answers, it can schedule a consultation right on the attorney's calendar for the next day. And what if things get a little too complicated? It's smart enough to know when to escalate the whole thing to a human for a personal callback.
And here's the absolute game changer for small firms. Once it's all set up, this digital assistant works tirelessly, nights, weekends, holidays, for virtually zero extra cost. This is what allows small firms to offer that 24/7 responsiveness that, until now, was pretty much only possible for the big guys with huge budgets.
So what's the real-world impact of all this? What does it actually feel like? Well, let's look at how this AI transforms the daily grind from a state of constant frustration to one of, well, effortless flow.
The transformation is pretty dramatic. Think about it. Those weeks you spent chasing paperwork, that's now automated reminders and collection. Those missed leads overnight, they're now captured while you sleep. And maybe most importantly, that high stress and very real burnout risk gets replaced with more time and energy for the core legal work that actually matters.
Okay, so this is the big question, right? This is the one bit of skepticism that always comes up. It's one thing for this to be efficient for the lawyer, but what about the client experience? Do people really want to interact with an AI for something as personal and serious as a legal matter?
Well, the answer might actually surprise you. It's a staggering 80%. That's right. According to one attorney, that's how many of their clients actively chose to use the bot for document collection. It turns out, clients appreciate that 24/7 convenience and efficiency just as much as the lawyers do.
And all of this brings us to the real payoff. Those dream outcomes that lawyers were always wishing for, they're actually becoming a reality. They can finally truly say they'll never miss a potential client again. They get that peace of mind. And most critically, it frees them up to be actual lawyers, not administrators, which really helps level the playing field.
And listen, this isn't just a theory. Don't just take my word for it. Here's a quote from a 20-year veteran attorney who actually adopted one of these tools. The impact is simple, but it's profound. It's amazing how much smoother things run now. You know, that's the kind of feedback that just speaks volumes about the real-world impact on a lawyer's daily life.
Now, of course, no new technology is a perfect silver bullet.
right? So for our final section here, it's really important to look at this with a balanced perspective and to acknowledge some of the legitimate concerns people have.
So, two main worries consistently come up. First, is there a real risk of losing that human touch in a business that's literally built on relationships? And second, what about the technical risk of AI hallucinations? The chance it could just make something up and provide wrong information, which would obviously be disastrous in a legal setting.
But despite those very real risks, the overall feeling in the legal community isn't really fear. It's better described as a kind of hopeful pragmatism. Lawyers are excited about the potential, for sure, but they're also realistic. They don't see this as a replacement for human lawyers, but as a seriously powerful tool for handling all those routine administrative tasks, which in turn frees them up to be more human where it really counts.
And that kind of leaves us with one final thought. We've seen how AI can solve this 5 p.m. scramble for lawyers. The big question now is, what other profession is next? It really makes you wonder who else is out there just waiting for a similar solution to help them reclaim their evenings. Really makes you think, doesn't it? Well, that's what we've got for you today.